YouTube? What's up, guys? It's your baby girl Brenda Kimby, and today on Raising the Bar, we will be talking about self-love. Guys, do you know that it's recently that I started understanding the importance of loving yourself enough to be selfish? You don't want to miss this edition. Stay tuned. So, guys, life, the beauty of life is the journey of life. It's experiencing life, it's living, it's failing, it's learning from your mistakes and all of that. So I've just been for the year 2020 just came with lots of lessons, and this whole COVID-19 just made it possible for some of us to quiet our lives by not being so busy and all over the place and traveling and working and all of that. So some of us are really spending time with ourselves. And I grew up in a home where we were taught to give and give and give and give, and we were really never taught to receive. So growing up, I've always found myself being in that position of giving. Like, you're always there for people, always ready to give your best, always trying to do more than you can, more than what you have. And it's recently that, like, when I mean recently, I'm talking about the year 2020, is this year that I really started asking myself a lot of questions, and I was just like, so if I don't call people, they're not going to call me. Or I was just like, okay, if I'm also in this kind of situation, how many people will really look up to me? And I was just like, baby girl, you really need to start taking care of yourself. You really, really need to. Why am I saying so? Because even the Bible says that it's a blessing to give than to receive. But the truth is, you can only give from the abundance of what you have. You can only give from the abundance of your heart. For example, if you're a cheerful person or you're always happy, you can radiate happiness because that's a reality of what you're living inside. But if your life is a whole mess, if your life is chaotic, how do you even extend a smile to somebody? The only thing you can do is to get angry on the least things. You can be so judgmental. You get angry easily and all of that. So I was just like, what are some of the things that I can do to really improve my life? Because as a coach, as a motivational speaker who spends a lot of time training people, talking to people, listening to people's problems, sometimes you don't really spend time listening to yourself. Sometimes you don't really spend time to be in the moment. Sometimes you're not really in your own reality because you're always caught up in people's lives trying to develop sustainable solutions for their lives, and before you know it, you're drained. That's why people always be like, why all these successful people, why do they get into depression, why do they get into trauma, why do they get into stress? It is because of this, because their lives are always for others and never for themselves. So what is the essence of this video? This video is just saying, in everything you do, please be selfish enough to spend some time for yourself. Be selfish enough to say no. There is no way to beat around the bush. No is a complete statement. Learn to say no to things you cannot do, to things you cannot afford, for things you feel you're not ready for, or for things you think you're not in the mental space of doing them. Learn to say no to those things. I've always been a yes person, like this kind of person who, even when I know I can't do something, I always be like, I'll try. Or my siblings know I don't like stress, but I can be there for people. Like, I'll never really put myself in the position of, I'll never just deny. I'll just be like, oh Brenda, can you do this thing? I'll be like, I'll try. Or I'll okay, give me this time and all of that. No, if you feel like you are not in the right state of mind of doing something, just say no. Your peace is better than anything. Because what I've been discovering lately is people don't really care as much as we think. That's the truth. You are there going to bed with people's problems. They are just dozing off in their houses. We have to be honest. And it hurts, but that's life. And you cannot live your life just to realize that 30 years back, 40 years back, you were living for people and there was never a moment to really live for yourself. There is this mentor I follow, and he said something recently, and it was really mind blowing for me. He said, when you look at your life, let's say, for example, you watching now, you're 35 years old, and if you're, according to the biblical standards, it is said we are supposed to live for 70 years. So ask yourself, the remaining 35 years that I have to live to make it 70, have I really lived the life I wanted? Ask yourself those core pertinent questions. Because sometimes we think we have forever. If you're 50 and you're watching this, you just know you have a few more years left. You don't really have much. If you're 20, ask yourself, what are those things, some of those things I want to amend? You cannot continue living at the mercy of other people. Or you cannot be trapped into people's opinions. Or you cannot cage yourself and think that the world owes you an explanation, as in how it works, as in how it goes, and now your life is a pity party. Please, you can't. And see, oh my god, I'm just so happy in my spirit. I'm happy sharing this because I'm happy that I've been able to finally overcome this. I was also thinking, most times we think you need a lot of money to live a happy life or to live a fulfilled life. Trust me, baby girl. Trust me, dear friend. Life, happiness is a choice. You see that statement that they say happiness is a choice? It's no jokes. Happiness is a choice. You chose to be happy. Happiness doesn't just happen. It's not an event. It doesn't just being joyful doesn't just happen overnight. You need to choose to be. So you need to ask yourself, what are some of those things? Could it be staying hydrated? Could it be exercising? Could it be reading a book? Could it be making a good meal for yourself? Like, I've been eating very healthy lately, like very, very healthy. I make sure I make my own meals, I prep my meals, I make sure the meals are clean. Giving yourself a treat is different from just going to buy food from the road. Because the food you go and buy from the road, you don't even know the sanitary conditions in which to make your food. Can you just love yourself enough to pamper yourself? I have a friend who told me this. She's always very neat, very on point. And she told me, Claire, she said, Brenda, I will never wear a dress I have not ironed. And I'm like, wow, like, she irons everything. Everything. When I mean everything, it means like everything, like where your mind is going to, she would definitely iron it. So those are some of the things. You don't need money to iron your dress. You don't need money to iron your underwear. So you don't need money to keep your closet organized. There are some little treats you just do to yourself, and then you're just like, wow, like, it just makes you feel special. So life is what you make of it. It's true, we always want to say things like, oh, you blame your dad did not send you to a very expensive or very comfortable school, you want to blame your mom and everything. That was then. What about the future? You get what I'm saying? I'm so excited in this video. And another thing I also wanted to talk about is, one of the things I've been learning when it comes to self-love is maturity is owning your temperament, is owning your mood swings. I used to be the kind of person who always want things to go my way. I want it to be perfect. Even when it's close to not being perfect, I'm not really comfortable. But and so it made I always had long mood swings because I always have expectations. People don't meet up to the expectations. So what I do now is, I'm just like, today I chose to be happy and live happily. And when I want to get angry, I'm just like, Brenda, what did you promise yourself that you're going to be happy today? So we have to learn to be intentional about being happy and about loving ourselves. Confidence is another thing that has ruined a lot of people. Now you go on Instagram, people are talking about plastic surgery. I think I'm going to do a video on that because it's something I've been so passionate about, watching documentaries about plastic surgery and all of that, especially in Africa. And I'm just like, okay, confidence, what really is confidence? Confidence, the definition of confidence is relative, but it has to be something that works for you. You've got to spend time building your self-confidence. You've got to spend time. I remember I was not very good with speech until when people usually make fun of how deep my voice is, and I was like, no, I'm going to learn and speak good English to the point where people will always want to listen to me talk. If you feel you're in a body size that makes you uncomfortable, why not you exercise? Why don't you wear clothes that fits you or brings out your figure? So those are some of the things we're talking about. Self-love, being intentional about ameliorating your life, being intentional about being happy, being intentional about living an abundant life, like just being happy. Because trust me, we have to be honest to ourselves. You cannot give what you don't have. So you cannot go around showering love when you're broken. And we have a lot of broken people. That's why you go on social media, you see people always trying to comment negative things, always have something very bad to say about people because they are not happy, they are not fulfilled. So if they don't do that, they will not feel happy. So you have to love yourself. Loving yourself is about being intentional. It's being about intentional about giving yourself those things that you will normally never have from other people. Give it to yourself. A date with self is important because it lets you come to that quiet space of, okay, what has been working, what has not been working, what can I ameliorate, what can I do better. So don't always think that it's important. It's true, I always tell people you can decide to spoil yourself once in a while. Like, you can decide to go to a good restaurant, you can decide to have a massage, to do a facials, you can decide to, there's a lot of things you can decide to do, like splurging. You can decide to shop to get yourself a new clothes. You can decide to, there's just a lot. But don't let your happiness be derived from material things, because if all you do can be gained from spending money, what about the days that you're not going to have any money? What are you going to do? So those are some of the things. For example, my elder sister, she has this thing she does. Like, she will so pamper herself. Like, for my elder sister to take her bath, she can stay in the bathroom for like 20 to 30, 40 minutes. I'm just like, what are you scrubbing? Like, how can a human being stay that long to take a bath? Those are some of the things. Pamper yourself enough to get to that point where you just love spending time bathing your body. At least that's the body that's taking care of you. That's the skin. The skin is the largest organ that is protecting, that is take, you understand what I'm saying? I'm getting so emotional about this video, but let's just do those little things. The way you serve your food on your plate, do you just go to the kitchen, you just put full vegetable, just mix, put it, it's a whole mess because you're hungry? No, you can decide to pamper yourself and make the meals look presentable, make it look nice, put some little decorative things there, put some cucumbers, arrange it, make it, not that the day that the guy takes you to a restaurant you're so embarrassed because it's the first time that you're seeing a plate of or a decent plate of food. So that's what we're talking about today. Just those little things. Even if it's just pop-off and beans, I always tell people, even if it's pop-off and beans, the way you serve your pop-off and beans on the plate, it shows how you regard yourself. You can nicely put it, you put your beans, you put your pap in a small dish, you put it nicely, you just make it look beautiful. And it doesn't cost any money to do that. It's just the will, the desire to give yourself some self-love. So it's a lot of things. You'd say you're not going to sleep on a bed that is not, that is, if a bed is not arranged, you don't sleep on it. You wake up in the morning, the first time you arrange your space, you organize your space, you arrange your bed, and you make it look good. We can go on and on and on for the examples, but I hope you've learned something from this. Just learn to love yourself. Learn to give yourself a treat all the time, because you can only love from the abundance of what you feel inside. Until next time, it's your girl Brenda Kimby. I am always coming to see you guys with lots of love. Please do not forget to subscribe. You just hit the subscribe bell, the subscribe button down there, and click the notification bell so that whenever we upload videos on our channel, you'll be updated on what to upload. Also, do not forget to drop video recommendations, some of the things you want to see on the channel, in the comment section. And we are all here to grow, and I always love hearing from you guys. Until next time, keep raising the bar.